Hi guys, we are outside this morning. It's early, chilly, it's about 34 degrees out. The sun is peeking in and out, and we're gonna be doing some planting today. I've got a bunch of different varieties of ground covers that I wanna get planted. Some of them I could winter over, but there are a few tender ones that are more for southern climates that I need to get in the ground because we are actually heading into our first hard frost. We're supposed to get down to like 25 degrees in the next day or two. So we've got to get some of these in the ground. You guys know I like my mulch, cedar mulch in particular, but I am trying to implement more ground covers into the gardens. There's so many different varieties to choose from, and they provide so many benefits to the garden. I guess first and foremost, what is a ground cover? What defines a ground cover? And honestly, it depends on who you ask because everybody has their own definition of what a ground cover is. For me, a ground cover is something evergreen, semi-evergreen. It provides 4 seasons of interest. It grows anywhere from 4 to 18 inches tall, but it can spread out to like 6 to 8 feet wide, and it covers the ground. And pretty much anything you plant, whether it's on its own or in mass, can be a ground cover. They're great for weed suppression because they cover a larger area and block out a lot of the sun. They prevent weeds from germinating. They're also good for soil erosion. If you have a hill or a slope, ground covers are great because they help lock that soil in place. And because there's so many different varieties to choose from, they're just beautiful to look at. I've got a bunch of different varieties of ground covers behind me I want to show you. I want to give you the stats on them, and then we're going to get some of these in the ground. Look at this table of gorgeous plants in a wide variety of colors and textures. I want to start from the left and work our way to the right because one of my favorites is back here. This is Jazz Hands Mini Loropetalum. I have Jazz Hands Pink in the front yard, and oh my God, it is one of my favorite plants. First, look at the color of this foliage. It is like a dark burgundy to a black. In the spring, it blooms these fuchsia hot pink flowers. This is in the witch hazel family, so you'll notice that the flowers look pretty reminiscent of the witch hazel blooms. But what I love about this, and this one in particular, the mini, is it only grows 1 foot tall, 3 foot wide. It likes full sun, but the reason that we're getting these ground covers in the ground right now is because this one in particular is hardy in zones 7B through 9. So this in particular likes warmer climates, and if I wanted to try and winter these over, I'd probably have to do it in a garage, which we don't have, because if I'm going to winter anything over, or if you're going to winter anything over in a container, you would want something that's rated 2 zones lower than your current zone, just to kind of give you a little bit of a buffer. So then over here, I picked this up at a nursery clearance. This is a verbena. It gets 8.5 inches tall, or what is it? 8 to 15 inches tall and 18 to 36 inches wide. It likes full sun, and you can see it's just got this beautiful like spreading habit. It's kind of a little like wild, which I like, but I do also like that the new growth emerges kind of like a purple burgundy, and then it kind of fades to like a green with just a little bit of burgundy around it. Look at that. It's just so pretty. It does look a little mangy right now because it's been in its container a little too long, so I may plant this one. I'm not sure. But we have this too, and I'm not sure if I'm going to plant this, but I wanted to show it to you because look how cheery and bright this is. This is an Acarus ogon grass. It gets 12 inches tall by 12 inches wide. It likes full sun, and it's just so sweet and cute. But look at like the growth in here. Look at that color. That is gorgeous. And then when you just lift it up, it's got this like chartreusey color. But in the fall, when it starts to change to like this wheat tan color, the whole thing just looks beautiful. Look at that. I'm not sure if I'm going to plant this yet because I don't know exactly where. And then I have these I brought out because these are just adorable. This is called green carpet. This is a low growing ground cover. It grows up to 4 inches tall. This is good for like in between flagstones and walkways because you can walk on this. But let's see, let's check this out because I haven't planted this before. Where are our stats? Height, 1/4 inch high. Okay, and it doesn't tell me how wide it gets, but I think it's like 1 foot to 2 feet wide. But This is great. I actually want to plant this after we put in our walkway in the front. I may want to put some of this in between some of the stones, depending on what we get. And then I have a sedum over here, which I picked up a while ago. This is a tricolor sedum from Monrovia. Look at this. Look at those colors. Aren't they beautiful? They go really well with this too. They go well with everything, but they're just so pretty. This green and pink and white, and they do bloom. They do have these like little tiny pink flowers that bloom, but this only gets, let's see what this one gets. This likes full sun, 4 inches high, 18 inches wide, and it blooms in the summer. This one also likes full sun. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but this, and this, I'm a little unsure where I want them, so I don't know if I'm gonna plant them or not. We'll see. And then back here we have Cotoneaster. This is Strebe's Findling Cotoneaster. This gets 1 foot tall, 3 foot wide at its maturity. It likes full sun. It can handle drought conditions once established. But this is actually like a woody woodland shrub. If you look in here close, look at the stems on this. They look like tree trunks over here. But they're just gorgeous. Look at the color. It's got these red like stems with this dark green foliage, and this is putting on its autumn color now. So we have oranges and yellows and golds. But another thing I love about this is if you get in here close, it produces these red berries in the fall that last through winter that the birds and the wildlife can forage off of. And it's just absolutely beautiful. I think in a spot where it actually loves it, I think it could get wider than 3 feet. I have read where it can get up to like 6 feet wide, but we'll see. We'll see. But look at these. They're just gorgeous. I have another one over here too. We're definitely getting these in the ground today. And then I have plumbago over here. These were another pickup from the clearance, or not the clearance, but from the nursery center that was going out of business. I picked up these 2 plumbagos. Look at these. These are the blooms on the plumbagos, these gorgeous blue flowers. But look at the foliage. It is just this burgundy with these golden little speckles in here. Absolutely stunning. The foliage, when it comes out, is green. You can see it's pushing some new leaves already, but it's just absolutely beautiful. And I haven't planted this in forever, so let's look at this. This likes full sun. It gets 10 inches tall, 18 inches wide, hardy in zones 5. And it blooms in the summer and the fall. And it already did its bloom. We're pretty much at the beginning of December at this point, so it's done blooming. But, and let's just look at all these colors. Aren't they just gorgeous? So if I were to plant all of these today, we kind of would be representing all 4 colors. We have our red, our yellow. Technically, we have a little bit of blue because that does have a blue tinge to it. Or we have our blue from here. Yellow. Did I say that? Red, yellow, blue, green. There we go. Those are the 4 primary colors. Oh, so pretty. I'm gonna get these loaded in the cart and then we'll make our way to the front because that's where we're planting them today, right around the Green Arrow Alaskan cedar. I don't know the exact positions or placements, but I'll figure all that out, get them planted, and then I'll come back around and give you guys a quick tour. And we have our kneeling pad, starter fertilizer, gloves, hand trowel. I have a shovel over there, and we definitely need coffee. Real quick, I also want to show you a couple more ground covers. So I've got a couple sedums over here. This one is Rockin' Round Pure Joy. This only gets 10 to 12 inches tall, 16 inches wide. So this could be another gorgeous ground cover. You could plant it alone or in mass. It's got these beautiful green leaves and these beautiful bright pink flowers. We also have another sedum over here. This is Rock and Grow Pop Star. This gets 8 to 10 inches tall, 20 inches wide. And this one has a more bluish green kind of a foliage color. But look at the blooms on this. These beautiful, beautiful bright pink blooms. And then they age to this in the fall. I have another sedum over here. This is Rockin' Round Bright Idea. This gets 10 to 12 inches tall, 16 inches wide. It has these beautiful, beautiful bright yellow flowers that are pretty much fading right now, but this just makes another great ground cover. Here's the Jazz Hands Pink Loropetalum. Look at this. Isn't it just absolutely stunning? Look at the fall color. It's got the dark burgundy leaves, the bright red leaves. We've got more green towards the center. It's just gorgeous. And this gets 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. Absolutely one of my favorites. All right, let's get these placed and in the ground. right, guys, we got them all planted. Let me take you around real quick and show you where they all ended up. Plus, I want to explain to you a little bit more in detail my future plans for this area, because I know when I was explaining when I wanted to remove the sod in this area, a lot of you guys were like, I can't picture it. I don't see your vision. So I want to explain to you a little bit more in detail what I envision this space to be. So here's where everything ended up. It's a little hard to see because the loropetalum are so dark and the mulch is wet. We got a lot of rain the other day, so I didn't even bother watering any of these in right now because the soil is so wet. But let me walk over here to the cotoneaster. This is where I placed them. The first one starts about 6 feet behind the green arrow, and then I kind of sort of spaced them 3 feet apart from each other on a bend, and then the loropetalum come in after the cotoneaster on a little bit of a swoop. It's kind of mirroring what I envision the walkway to be. So it's not going to hug the walkway, but it is kind of going to mirror the direction of it. And then right over here, I put the verbena, and I found the tag. So this is what the blooms look like for the verbena. Aren't they pretty? So we'll have the fuchsia pink from the loropetalum, these beautiful purple flowers from the verbena. And then I forgot to mention the cotoneasters. In the spring, they bloom white flowers, completely covering this whole plant. So we'll have white, fuchsia pink, purple. We've got our grass right here, which is giving us our little bit of yellow, which it kind of just pops. If you look at it, boom, I love that. And then we've got our plumbago right over here in front of the green arrow, and these have the blue blooms. So we've got the blue, the white, the pink, purple, and then the yellow from the grass. So this is going to be quite a colorful area. So now I'm going to go over to the gate and we're going to walk it. So I'm going to explain to you how I see this all developing over the next few years. All right, we're standing behind the gate where the vegetable garden is. This is the area that we did the cardboard mulching, and this is where we're wintering everything over. But if we're standing right over here, the green arrow is going to be the focal point. It will get 30 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. So I didn't want to put anything around it that would block it. So I didn't want anything too tall or too high. We're going to put some kind of a pathway here. I'm thinking flagstone, stepping stone. We don't know yet. We're going to go look this winter and see, but picture stone walkway here. We start walking through. The walkway starts to bend, and then it will come and drop us off right around here. I may widen this area a little bit in the spring, I'm not sure, but we have all of these ground covers that will just kind of hug this area, cover up some of the mulch, and it'll give it a little bit more of like a woodlandy feel, but not too much. But it's going to cover the mulch. We'll have a whole bunch of different colors and textures. Picture the stones right over here, and it's just going to be a more relaxed, woodlandy kind of area. In the spring, I may widen this bed just a little bit, kind of redefine the edge a little more, maybe flare it out right here. But if you stand back and we take a look at this whole area, picture the walkway coming through here and just doing a soft bend and dropping you off right at the sidewalk here. This is the focal point. So again, I don't want anything that gets too high to block this. I want this to kind of be the standout piece, and then everything around it is just more ground cover, ground hugging. And these will get, 3 to 4 feet wide. So they will eventually kind of merge together and touch and just cover this whole area. But in the meantime, because some of these, like the cotoneaster, is not super fast growing, 3 to 6 inches per year, said the tag, but we'll see. Loropetalum, that kind of just does its own thing. It is kind of a moderate grower. Verbena, plumbago, grasses, we'll just see about those. But in the meantime, we can pop in some annuals and just kind of fill this whole area in if we want to. So I purposely did it this way because I want to leave a lot of options while everything is growing and filling in. And we can still come in after the pathway is laid with some of those lower growing ground covers that you can walk on and just kind of fill in some of the cracks of the walkway, kind of soften it up a little more, and maybe just put like a nice annual border of flowers along here, or just leave it open so we can just easily just cross over it. Just so many possibilities. And I wanted to leave our options open. I didn't want to just come in here and just boom, fill this whole thing up before our hardscapes and our walkways and stuff are in. And I hope my explanation gave you guys a better visual in your mind of what I envision this space to be. Again, we're still developing it, so it's very possible that things could shift and change and move around. That's why I want to take my time with this area. I want to go and see all different types of stone and just see what else is out there before I make any more final decisions. I think the ground covers in here were good because they're on a slope, so it'll help with soil erosion, and it's just going to provide so much interest here without taking away any of the focal point of the green arrow. So really happy to finally get these in the ground before we hit our first hard freeze in, I'm not sure, I think it's tonight, but maybe tomorrow. So just glad to get them in the ground. They'll be a lot better off in the ground. And just one more thing off of our checklist. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.